Hi. So I wanted to do a little bit of an introduction video. This is actually like a prequel, almost, clip to some work that I did a few days ago that I will be splicing together with this little introductory video. It is regarding making and using big leaf maple tree medicine, and it's regarding the big leaf maple flower. So I decided, when I sort of suddenly was thunderstruck with the realization that I was about to miss the maple flower season, on a whim that I wasn't planning for, I went out and harvested several, and then recognized, wait a second, I am having a whole playlist on my YouTube channel all about kitchen magic and folk medicine and plant medicine, and so I should be filming this in order to share it. So it's a very kind of thrown together, hastily conceived of project for big leaf maple. So I want to, normally I would be doing something like this much more justice, but that's kind of the beauty of working outside, is sometimes you see an opportunity and you just have to grab it. And that's what happened with me for big leaf maple flower this season. They came to me kind of in a thunder striking way, like, harvest us, we're almost gone, like in this really cool way that plants will do sometimes if you decide you want to get in close relationship with them. And so part of the reason I'm down here and doing this and introducing this in this way is that this is right where I live. I live right on this rail line. The land I live on the rail line actually has an easement to run through the parcel, because the parcel was created by the settler colonial community before the rail line was laid here. So the land I live on has an easement for this rail line to run through it. And this is right along the Columbia River. Right beyond me here is a little seasonal creek that runs through here and under the rail line down into Columbia River. It's called Piedmont Creek. It attracts a lot of wildlife to the land I live on, which is really nice. And part of the reason I'm down here doing this too is because a lot of the maple flower that I harvested the other day came from maples that grow along this rail line and that are part of the riparian habitat. Riparian meaning the trees and plant life that grow along a riverbank, which has its own ecosystem, right? That's delicate, and that salmon rely on having healthy riparian habitat. And so there's an amazing ecosystem that runs here parallel to this rail line, of bald eagles perching in the dug firs to hunt salmon and sturgeon and other fish. Osprey have a nest down this way that is really spectacular to see when you're walking the rail line. There's all kinds of birds nesting around here, and I have to be careful about harvesting any plants here because Burlington Northern also does, I'm sure, chemicals to some extent to keep the plant growth from taking over the rail line. I don't know how sparing they are about it, to be honest. That's something I should look into. But I wanted to highlight what a special place this is, because I think I'm probably fairly safe to say that most people coming through this part of where I live aren't doing it to appreciate nature. This is not a hike. It's not a nature walk. It's an industrial corridor for the railroad. Oil trains run through here, and it's been very humbling to imagine what would happen if an oil train spilled here. It would be devastating to the river, to the wildlife here, to the riparian habitat, to our land itself. It would poison the land. It's just really crazy to think about. I'd say there's an oil train that comes through here maybe 2 or 3 times a week. They come through very slowly. They don't sound, but it's not something that people feel very comfortable with, right? But it's part of industry on this part of the river. There are a lot of ports through the lower Columbia River. So anyways, this is an introduction to my little plant video and kitchen magic video about making maple flower fritters. So now I'm gonna go splice all these together, and thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me in this part of the world that I feel fortunate to live in, as well as kind of at times saddened about the vulnerability of a place like this. Like, this has got history of all kinds of like creosote railroad ties, just stuff like that. Pollution of industry. We're not a Superfund site or anything nearly like what there might be in ports around Portland, Vancouver, but It's real here, you know. So anyways, thank you for listening. You can see all the green behind me. We have ocean spray, western hemlock, holly, twinberry, scotch broom, which is invasive, English ivy, as you can see, a ton of it, big leaf maple. What else am I looking at just right around me here? Vine maple, Doug fir, western red cedar. That's kind of all I can think of right now. Also, Oregon bee friend is a native plant that grows a lot here in disturbed areas of soil. It comes back and the bees love it, so it's a welcome plant to see growing here. I'm probably not picking up any of them. But anyways, thank you, and I appreciate you being here, and thank you for listening. Getting ready to make maple flower fritters. I just harvested these big leaf maple flowers this afternoon, and I did it just in time. They're about to be already all to seed where I am, and sometimes I'm vulnerable to that. As an herbalist, I get really excited in spring and can't wait to go out harvesting, and then I catch things at the wrong time, or I sleep on it and I'm too late. So that's something that is, I feel like, maybe I wonder if I'm alone or not, that other herbalists might struggle with that. But anyways, I'm going to be making fritters out of these maple flowers. So I'm not going to necessarily film myself doing the whole thing. I'm just going to probably splice together some clips. I don't have anyone here with me, and I don't have the energy to set up the tripod and do the whole filming myself thing. So this will just be some spliced together clips of the process of making these maple flower fritters. The first step is going out and finding healthy, clean, big leaf maple, where you can take some of the flowers in early spring, either from the forest floor or from some low-hanging branches where you can reach them or pull them towards you with a stick or something. You can then get these. They're prolific producers, so you don't need to worry about over-harvesting necessarily. But like anything, don't be overzealous. That's another thing I learned as an herbalist early on, was how not to over-harvest more than what I needed. That's something that comes with time and learning as well. So I spent about an hour and a half today getting to some harder to reach places for these maple flowers, because the ones that were closest to me were already gone to seed. So I had to kind of go a little bit outside of the easy access ones. But all around the Pacific Northwest right now are these spring green, beautiful maple flowers, and I'll keep you posted here in the process as I start the fritters. I'm trying to film this with one hand while I cook with the other. But this is them. These are the first 5. Excuse my kitchen. This is a little bit impromptu, so I didn't have my kitchen the way I would have normally wanted it for making a video. But I very much decided last minute, if I want to make these fritters, I got to get them now. I got to do it now. I haven't done any real prep for this. I didn't plan to make this video until today. God damn it. I keep going off there. So, oh my gosh, they smell amazing. They're a light, sweet flower. Pollinators like them. Let's see here. God, I keep not getting the right shot here, so I better just stop. So this is them. Now, we're just going to let these fry here. I can tell maybe it's not frying at a high enough temperature. So I'm going to turn it up a little bit. And then I'll be back with some finished, what they look like on the plate. You just want to take these off the heat, drain them on a paper towel plate, right? And then eat them hot. So we'll see what these taste like. I feel like what I actually might have done with these, since they're getting a little bit later in the season, is another suggestion she makes for making these is to mix the flowers, just the little flowers, not the stems and whatnot, into a pancake batter and make pancakes with them. which is just a slight variation on the fritter recipe. So I'll be back with some finished ones and let you know how they taste. Look at these beauties. They actually do look like Elise crowns. I'm just too hard on myself, but these are the first ones. They're beautiful. I'll let you know in a minute how they taste. I'm going to go ahead and finish cooking the rest before I try them out. They smell divine. So like I said, there's a little bit of cinnamon and sugar mixed in with the flour and baking powder. Eggs, and then that's it. You could add vanilla and whatnot, but I got to get going because my oil's starting to smoke. Okay. These are the finished product. They look a little insane, but I'm telling you what, they taste delicious. So that light sweetness that they're known to have is definitely in play here. I added a little bit of cinnamon, a very small amount of sugar, and again, fried in hazelnut oil. That's not an ideal oil because it has a low smoke point. I wanted coconut oil, but they didn't have any at the little local market. But regardless, even with these ones that got kind of burned a little bit, they taste good. You know that's not good for you, right? But very tasty. The crunchier, the better, is what is tasting like to me. So next time I'll be sure to use coconut oil. And I hope you enjoyed this little mini installment of maple flour fritters. I'm excited. And now I could take these if I wanted to get serious tomorrow morning. Could put them in the fridge tonight, these little blossoms. And then I could take some pancake mix and make pancakes with those mixed into the batter. That's another tip. So these are Elise Crone's recipes. For the batter, I would probably use one less egg. I didn't need all the eggs, and I ran out of the flour mixture quite a bit quicker. But otherwise, they are delish, and I'm going to enjoy them now. This is a little last minute, and I got to go quick because it's raining. But these are the maples that the flowers came from. So we have a lot of big leaf maple growing here. We've had to reclaim most of this land from ivy, and it's a work in progress that'll probably never be over. English ivy completely invaded this land before we moved in. But these maples here are the ones that produce the flowers that we're enjoying. So thanks.